So we're back from vacation, so it's time to make some content again. And I already explained my thought process in the mastermind, but I also wanted to make a video just to make it a bit more clear. I won't go over all the price action that happened during while I was away, but what we have right now is just buy side liquidity above us right here, and sell side liquidity below us. What's important to know is that this low was created at the 1st of September, actually this low. So that's really low in a month, but right now that's also the invalidation for the bullish, for a bullish month. If we take out this low again, then the chances are very big that we get a bearish month, in which a lot more downside is on our hands. So my current view for this week was to look for shorts at a Monday high sweep, which is what we got, but we just front ran the previous weekly high, which is this level. So I hoped to see a new high created, potentially tapping into that fair value gap and then look for shorts. However, we just front ran that level. So the liquidity is still resting above, so eventually I expect us to trade towards these levels again. So I'm not in a short. However, right now I will be more interested in longs if we take out the range low right here, but I'm not sure if that will happen this week or maybe next week. So I'm keeping an eye on a potential this local supply to see if we get a rejection there tomorrow, and then I'm still interested to look for shorts towards this level, and it's mostly because of USDT dominance. This one is trading in a bigger range, as we can see here, and then it internally made an internal range with a model 1, where the technical target of that model 1 is the range low right here. However, price formed an internal range, and with internal ranges you always have to be a bit more careful, because often they are used as traps to liquidate even more liquidity, which I'm gonna explain with the example on ETH later on. But right now let's stick to the to this chart. Here we created a 1, 2, 3 model 1 accumulation, and we have now an aggressive push back in the range while leaving demand behind. So we have to be careful that, or at least careful, I just trade the range, so I don't care which way the price goes, but as we get a rotation back to the range high, especially because we have a liquidity trail resting here with all these stacking highs, which are acting as liquidity, and it's also weekend liquidity, which makes it even stronger. So I will not be surprised if we maybe go higher, get a retrace, and then tomorrow get a quick rotation back to these highs. And if we do that, then I also expect eventually move back to those highs. So that is something to keep an eye on, especially if we get above this level right here. Else we could still make our way here, but we have to watch this demand. If we invalidate it, then the range lows are next, but for now buyers stepped in after deviating the low, so we have to be aware of that. Tomorrow there's red news. I have no idea what the news will be about, but it's some economic data, so that will be an important factor what price will do. But yeah, as I said in the mastermind as well in the group, I never like how if price leaves weekend liquidity behind and then starts the week with a pump and then goes higher, because oftentimes you then have the risk that you create your weekly P1 early in the week, which is now also the case for Bitcoin potentially. We can quickly look at pivot zones, which we can see here. Let me zoom out a bit. You can see that this is the weekly pivot zone, which means that 80% of the weekly P1s get formed inside this gray box, and then if you get a bullish month, bullish week, 80% of the bullish weeks will at least make their way to that upper box, or in case of a bearish week to this downwards box. But it also means that inside this area, as said, often you form your weekly and also your monthly and your daily P1s early in the day, which means that on the weekly that's often formed on either Monday or Tuesday, And right now we have our, if we look at the P1 and P2s, right here, let's clean it up. Then we have our P1 at Monday and our P2 at Tuesday. So what will be very important is what we do tomorrow with that news event. If we take out our weekly low tomorrow with that news event, that means that our P1 is on Tuesday and our P2 is on Wednesday. And if that's the case, then there's a very high chance that that weekly P2 will hold, which is then 2 days high, and that we get bearish displacement towards our bearish targets, which then could open the doors to a new monthly low, which then opens the doors to a monthly bearish month. And then much lower prices are on the table. So tomorrow and this week are going to be pretty important. What will happen if we take out the low, or if we don't take out the low? What I would like to see is that we take out, from a range perspective, is take out this low. But if we do that, then the weekly statistics will turn bearish because we have a bearish a P2 at Wednesday. However, as long as we keep our monthly P1 alive, which is around here, then we can still get rotation back up. So I will be looking for accumulation models here. If we can't ignore them, then I will play them. And then back to these highs, and then I expect a full rotation. But yeah, if we get a move into this level, I can't rule out any shorts, because USDT.D dominance looks pretty strong to me, as I explained. So yeah, I'm just playing it both ways. Depends on what I get first. Basically means that if we get a bearish week, this is our invalidation. If we take out that high tomorrow, then we probably have a bullish week and a bullish month on our hands. So yeah, this invalidation is pretty strong. Then quickly going to ETH. ETH has been really strong. When I went away, it gave this. I went away 18th of August. So then we were here, then we had a massive push up, huge scan pump, and then price went down, and since then has been showing very choppy price action where the volatility is drying up. And a lot of people are positioning themselves right here, but yeah, I was waiting with the group mostly to take out this low, because I think at this point so much liquidity has been building up below here that, especially with a news event tomorrow, yeah, it would be weird not to at least take out that liquidity. And then I think almost everyone getting stopped out of their positions, and then I'm getting very interested to play this potential 2-tap model, or yeah, I'm getting even more interested if we get towards the range lows right here, because as I just said at the USDT chart, is that often internal ranges, like here we have our main range, which is our range high right there, range low right here, that you have an internal range right here, which is range low right here, range low right there, but that they are often used as traps because people are still very bullish right here. So people will use their put their stop losses right here, or they use it below this local range. But market makers also see that, so they know that people are positioning themselves in longs here, expecting a full rotation to the range highs, and everyone puts their stop loss below this local range, which adds even more liquidity to that liquidity pool resting here. So oftentimes when there's an internal range like this, the triggers need to be extremely clean for me to take risks inside that local range, because oftentimes you still get eventually your move to your main range extremes, which is where I like to do business. So for ETH, I hope we take out these range lows, then I'm heavily interested in longs. The closer we get to this main range low, the more interested I get into longs. Then for Solana, I also made a post. I'm heavily interested in potential shorts, also because, not because I want to fight the trend or anything, because everything is bullish right here, but we are coming into a major level of resistance, and we have a local range here where we just made a second tap, and the invalidation here is very clean. So I always like to get into a setup where the invalidation is really clean, and here we had our main high where we also created some bearish diffs, Then here we did the same, where we took out that high, and this high is created on Tuesday, which could then potentially be our weekly P1, so weekly invalidation. Then right now we have deviated this high, are getting bearish move down. It means that I'm here potentially interested in a model 2 if we get a move back into this supply, because this invalidation is super clean. This is potentially a Wyckoff tap plus a weekly statistics strong pivot. So if we get a bearish move, this is our invalidation. So I really like to keep an eye on Solana tomorrow and see if we get that follow through, where we right now see bear step in, then potentially get a move up, and then continue our bearish model towards all this sell side liquidity. Very clean invalidation, so yeah, let's see what happens. We have some supply left behind at the range high, so if we get there, I will look for a short stop loss above that high, which is a clean invalidation, and then target these range lows. So that's basically the plan for Sol. Look for short, ETH, interest in longs from lower. Bitcoin, yeah, already moving towards the range low, so not that interested in shorts anymore, but would have loved to get into a short today, but yeah, you don't always get what you want. And for Bitcoin, it's important to not take out these lows, else we get a bearish month. So be prepared for that. We can reverse it by taking out, maybe even today, but that would be pretty aggressive. But then that would open the doors for, again, a bullish weekly statistics. But yeah, the risk of a bigger rotation with all that sell-side liquidity, buy-side liquidity on USDT dominance is pretty big. So yeah, it can go both ways, but for now I'm leaning a bit more bearish. So let's see what happens. However, it's good that we are now getting a bearish displacement ahead of the news, because pumping in before news is even more bearish. So maybe the more we dump right now before the news event, the bullisher it can get, because now they're generating sell-side liquidity. So let's see. Either way, I'm back. If you have any questions, let me know. Soon I will also go for a live stream. I think that people can just ask me things about trading mentality, chart requests, just everything. So yeah, looking forward to that, and thanks for watching, and let's see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be an important day.